In this review, I'll be taking a look at the Neca Gremlins Accessory Pack. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's start off by taking a look at the packaging. This packaging is huge, by the way. At the bottom we get an image of Gizmo. Looking inside, we can get a glimpse of the long-awaited Cocoon. Also included is Gizmo's pink race car, an alternate head and ski mask to make the Bandit Gremlin, a sweatshirt and 2 leg warmers to make the Mega Madness Gremlin, a little standing Gizmo figure, as well as a sitting Gizmo figure for the car. Here's a look at the top of the package. Here's a side view. There is a lot of empty space. The side also lists all the included items. And here's the back side. There are several product images, which is nice as it gives you some idea on how to display the included items. There's also a small read-up. Feel free to pause and read. The first item we will look at is the standing Gizmo figure. For those who purchased the Santa Stripe figure, this is the same exact Gizmo that was included with that figure. This smaller Gizmo is supposed to be a more accurate scale compared to the Gremlins figures. In my opinion though, I think it is too small. While not accurate scale, I prefer the Ultimate Gizmo to this one. I'm also just not a fan of the sculpt on this smaller Gizmo, especially when it comes to the hands. I just don't think they look good at all. The paint on the figure did turn out nice though. The eyes are the standout. As small as they are, the paint is nice and clean. The paint on the rest of the figure is nice as well. This little Gizmo does have some articulation. The head is able to move around. It can look side to side and up and down. The arms can go forwards and backwards, as well as up and down. The hands can also rotate. While not my favorite item from this set, it is still a nice inclusion. Real quick, here is a comparison next to the Ultimate Gizmo figure. Although much larger, the sculpt and design is far superior in my opinion. Let me know in the comments which you prefer. Next item up is the sitting Gizmo. The sole purpose of this one is to fit inside the car. The sculpting and paint are pretty nice, and identical to the previous one, minus the sitting pose of course. The arms and head are articulated just like the previous one. The next accessory up is Gizmo's race car. The car looks just like it did in the film, which is nice. The paint is mostly light pink in color. The wheels can rotate, which is always nice on a toy car. They did a great job on sculpting the car to look like it did in the film. On the back of the car are 2 suitcases, one light blue and one orange. They are not removable. Here's a better look at the interior, along with the little white steering wheel. The seat even has some sculpted detail. Here's a look at the underside of the car. For those interested, here's the car rolling. I really like how this turned out, and it was a great inclusion in the set. Inserting Gizmo in the car, this looks even better. While not a fan of the Gizmo figure, I do like how it looks sitting inside the car. Making a car for the smaller Gizmo figure was the smart choice, as a car designed for the Ultimate Gizmo would have been much larger and therefore more costly. This is a good way to recreate the scene from the movie. Once again, here's the car rolling with Gizmo inside. Next up we have the outfit to create the Mega Madness or Flashdance Gremlin. This set does not include a Gremlin figure, so you will have to use one you already own, or go buy one. The best way to put the clothes on is to remove the head and hands of a Gremlin figure. And here is a Gremlin figure dressed in the aerobics shirt and leg warmers. While normally I am not a fan of soft goods clothing on action figures, I do really like the look of this. This clothing turns a normal Gremlin into another unique Gremlin from the bar scene in the film. I'm all for adding different Gremlins to my collection, and if that means it's done through soft goods clothing, I'm all for it. The shirt and leg warmers fit nicely on the figure as well. The only downside is the Gremlin figure must be purchased separately. It would have been nice to get one in this set, but in doing so would have raised the price of the set, so I do understand why they didn't include one. Once again, I'm very pleased with how this turned out. Next up is a personal favorite gremlin of mine, and that being the head and ski mask to create the Bandit gremlin from the bar scene. I've always been a big fan of this gremlin. Just as with the previous articles of clothing, you will also need another gremlin figure to create the Bandit. This set only gives you the head and the ski mask. A caution point on swapping the heads: you might want to first warm it up with a hairdryer or use warm water. The head was very difficult to remove on its own. Just use caution as you don't want to break your gremlin figure. The mask is yet again made of a soft goods material, but just like the previous one, it turned out very nice. The head is the same as a regular gremlin figure, just without the ears. The mask fits on the head snugly. It is a thicker material used than the other articles of clothing. Even while wearing the mask, the jaw is still able to be articulated. Another thing I want to add is the gun he is holding did not come with this set. I purchased it separately off eBay. I did so because the Bandit Gremlin needs his gun, and Warner Brothers is against including guns with figures from their films. For any fans of this specific gremlin, I do recommend you purchase the gun to complete the ensemble. Like I said, it is just not the same without one.
What are they?
Well, they're the Mogwai, I guess.
I saved the best accessory and my personal favorite from this set for last, that being the Cocoon. This was first shown off at San Diego Comic-Con in 2011. It took 11 years for this thing to finally get into Gremlins fans' hands, but man was it worth the wait. Out of the package, you will have to attach part of it. There are 3 holes in the Cocoon that line up with the slime piece. Just plug it in. Now let's take a look at this amazing piece. This Cocoon is a thing of beauty. The sculpting is amazing. It looks just like the ones in the film. Protruding from the Cocoon are several slime attachments. The good thing about these are that it stabilizes the Cocoon when on display. With the slime pieces going all around it, it keeps the Cocoon from falling over. The paint turned out great on this as well. While the primary color is brown, there is an added grayish wash on it. This is yet again accurate to the film. The detailed sculpting is impressive with all the cracks and texture throughout. There are added slime sculpted throughout as well. Like I previously mentioned, this Cocoon was first shown off in 2011. Behind the Spider Gremlin and Greta, this was my most wanted Gremlins item Neca has shown off. I'm just so happy they finally released it. The downside is there is only one per accessory pack. Like many other Gremlin collectors, are going to want multiple for their displays, which means this will be pricey, but I also wish I could army build the Cocoons without having to buy all the extra items. That aside though, I couldn't be happier to finally own it. So that is my review of the Neca Gremlins Accessory Pack. This set gave me some of my top ones for the Gremlins toy line. I can finally add the Bandit and the Mega Madness Gremlins to my collection, and my favorite from this set, the Cocoon. I think this set is worth it for the Cocoon alone. If you are a Gremlins collector or a fan of the movie, I highly suggest you get this set. Once again, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And thanks for watching.